Hello, one and all. Welcome back to yet another review on a movie. It's most likely movies anyway. If you see my Spider-Man 3 review, I said that this is just going to be a brief series. But I had another one coming up, and that is for the movie Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So, The Phantom Menace is having its 25th anniversary. This year it's been reshown across the world, celebrating its 25th anniversary. And I have been wanting to re-talk about this movie for some time because my opinion on The Phantom Menace has changed. And before we get into the review, I understand that the thumbnail is not exactly what I look like in the video. It's extremely hot outside, so I have to have my jacket off, but I have my Star Wars hat on. If you follow me on Instagram or friends with me on Facebook, seen the post, know what I mean anyway, but hey-oh, at least I got me cap, my lightsabers up there. You've seen that in the thumbnail. Then I have the wee Star Wars sign up there, the light thing. But what matters is the re-review. So, in case if you haven't seen Phantom Menace, what on earth? Where have you been? Have you even seen Star Wars already? Watch it already. It's... Not everyone's going to like it, I know. But I have thoughts to say. So, if you remember, if you've followed me since the beginning of my YouTube channel, I started this in late 2015, my YouTube channel. I reviewed the Star Wars movies, the originals and the prequels, in preparation for The Force Awakens to come out. Phantom Menace was included. So, that being said, I wanted to talk about it again. Now, sadly, I did not get to see this in a new screening, sadly. However, though, I did get to see this in 2012, where it was doing a 3D showing. But I remember seeing it with a couple of friends of mine when I was a kid. I was like 11, I think. It was a good time. Hearing the Duel of the Fates theme was just so iconic. And hearing that in the cinema and just seeing the characters Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Darth Maul, all those characters. So, Phantom Menace is often considered as one of the worst Star Wars movies. At least on Rotten Tomatoes, it's 59%. Then again, people don't trust it. Then again, I'm just reading bits and pieces for my review. But honestly, guys, Phantom Menace is a fun Star Wars movie. Yeah, I said it. I mean, this is not the best Star Wars movie. It's definitely better than what Disney has done with Star Wars lately, and I like it more than Attack of the Clones for sure, which I still don't like that much. Even though it's definitely better than Rise of Skywalker, I would say. And maybe aspects of The Last Jedi, because I don't flat out hate The Last Jedi like some people do. But that's a story for another time. Just want to talk about Phantom Menace. And also, guys, hope you guys had a good May the 4th. I couldn't get around to doing this because I was extremely busy. But I hope you were doing nothing too crazy or anything. But anyways, we of course have the usual opening crawl, and what I love about the scene is with Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi in the opening scene. Excuse me, is where they fight in these droids, and in later Star Wars projects, like with Rogue One, The Mandalorian, and the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, they seem to take the lightsaber shots from that. From Phantom Menace, I think is quite original, with Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan with their lightsabers going through and destroying the droids. I think is pretty good. You know, I think the action in Phantom Menace is fairly good, you know. Back when I saw Rise of Skywalker, when it came out, I was extremely disappointed. And then over the years, whenever, since the sequel trilogy came out, it became a very 50-50 love-hate thing. I mean, I used to really, really enjoy the movies back when they came out until Rise of Skywalker came out, which kind of ruined the trilogy for me. Very unthought about. With The Phantom Menace, it has an arc. It has a vision, even with Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, a movie that I've come to love a bit. Not my favourite Star Wars movie, but still. With Phantom Menace, though, sure, it's not a great Star Wars movie. Yeah, Jar Jar Binks and Jake Lloyd as Anakin Skywalker, they're not so good. But honestly, the character I've come to appreciate is Qui-Gon Jinn, played by your Northern Irishman, Liam Neeson, who I think is one of the most underrated Star Wars characters. I truly would love to see more of Qui-Gon Jinn for sure. We now know he was apprenticed by Count Dooku thanks to Tales of the Jedi, if you've seen that. And so later on they meet Padme, Anakin Skywalker, and yada yada yada. And then you of course have the pod racing scene, which I love the pod racing scene. It's fun to watch, to say the least. I think you know, it's very fun and entertaining, which I think Phantom Menace is fun, you know, and that's, you know, I think if you're looking for a fun, enjoyable Star Wars movie that isn't going to be the greatest thing, but not going to be the worst thing, I'd say Phantom Menace is like that, even though I used to not like the Phantom Menace, but now I kind of do. Bit like when I rewatched Spider-Man 3. So, and then of course you have, which is quite possibly one of the best scenes in Star Wars history, the Darth Maul fight against Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I loved this fight scene for some time. I think it's probably one of the best, maybe better than the Revenge of the Sith fight, and maybe even better than the A New Hope fight. I go forward to saying this is like the best lightsaber fight, anything alongside Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker. Like, this scene is just so good, and yet that Duel of the Fates thing just really kicks in. Just, and another character, Natalie Portman, she's a good actress, but Padme in here, I think, just wasn't the greatest. In the next two movies, she kind of improves. That being said, though, in regards to characters, Ian McGregor is great as Obi-Wan Kenobi, probably the best thing about the prequels. And then Liam Neeson playing Qui-Gon Jinn, I think, is an underrated Star Wars character. I've come to appreciate him a lot more. And then, of course, Darth Maul, one of the best Sith Lords out there, you know. Then, of course, you have Ian who plays, of course, Palpatine, you know. And yeah, Phantom Menace, it's got good moments. It's got cringy dialogue still, yes. I mean, George Lucas, you know, got to make a movie he wanted to make, you know. Then, of course, after the prequels, he had to change up the original trilogy nudge. Moving on. But overall, guys, whenever I saw this back in 2012 for its 3D release, I remember really enjoying it. Then, for a while, I've come to see why people didn't like it so much. But honestly, I don't mind Phantom Menace, honestly. You know? If I'm being honest, it probably is better than pretty much most of the Disney Star Wars stuff that's put out. There's been some winners for sure. I mean, Rogue One, The Mandalorian, Andor. I mean, Disney does have potential to make good Star Wars, you know, and I hope at some point they can fix it. If not, then, well, you know. But honestly, I can see Phantom Menace being a turn your brain off movie and just have a fun time with, you know. I don't have much to say because I did have an original review which I reviewed with a crap camera, if you haven't followed me for a long time. But now I've got a much better camera. So it's in 4K quality, which is nice. It's 4K phone I've got. So yeah, overall, guys, Phantom Menace, it's definitely not the best Star Wars movie. Revenge of the Sith is still the best Star Wars prequel to my mind. The original trilogy is obviously better for sure anyway. I mean, Phantom Menace has got good stuff, you know, there's definitely some aspects from my original review that I have kept, you know, on opinions, you know. But I think the one aspect I've come to appreciate is definitely Qui-Gon Jinn, who's a very great Jedi Master to Obi-Wan Kenobi, who then of course trains Anakin Skywalker in the next two movies, and of course the Clone Wars, which then of course bring Ahsoka. But there you go, guys, that was my re-review on The Phantom Menace, and just also saying how I've come to appreciate this more because, you know, as well, the sequels and some of the Disney Star Wars stuff are probably better made stuff, but I feel like the prequels are probably better taught stories, you know, than what Disney's recently put out. But comment down below, let me know, guys, what you guys think of Phantom Menace. Have you come to appreciate it? Do you not like it? Fair enough, I'm not against you for that. We have our own opinion. You're free to disagree with me or agree with me, whatever. Let me know below in the comments. Let's have a great discussion down there. And again, guys, hope you had a good May the 4th, Revenge of the 5th or 6th, whatever it is you like to acknowledge. Technically speaking, this is the Star Wars month, and it always has been, to me, you know, May. But, you know, whatever. But as always, if you're new, please feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share this video, and notify that bell before you leave. And as always, until my next video, I shall see you then, and peace. May the Force be with you.